Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut. I hope you like this video. And of course, subscribe. Trying to get to 5,000 subs. We're getting there. Right now it's kind of slow, but I expect once the World Series is over, and we hope it ends tomorrow. The Rangers got to win tonight, and then we'll see what happens on Thursday. And then we will hit the ground running with this offseason. I can't wait. And obviously, we're going to be in November very soon. This is going to be a huge offseason. Next week is the GM meetings, believe it or not. Believe it or not. We're going to have a very exciting offseason. It was a very disappointing season, but this is going to be a very exciting offseason. Every offseason is exciting. Last year, not so much, and it showed on the field. Obviously, the Mets have a new boss at the helm. We have David Stearns, who's taken over. He was going to work with Billy Epler. Billy Epler said bye-bye. It was more like the Mets fired him. That's the word. The word is the Mets told him, you either resign or we fire your ass out of here. It seemed to be so bad, the situation with the roster manipulation, that the Mets kind of forced him out. They kind of told him, you either resign or we fire you. He resigned. And we'll see what happens. The investigation supposedly is going to wind down at the end of this year, but I hope the Mets don't get hit too hard with whatever happens. But David Stearns has come in. He picked up some player today. His name's Penn or whatever the hell his name is. He's pitched for the Mariners. Pitched actually pretty well the last 2 years, but he's gotten Penn Murphy. I can sort of slip my mind there. It's an unusual name, Penn Murphy. And he is going to miss some time this year because he had Tommy John surgery. He's going to miss some time next year. He's sort of one of these players that's a future piece. I wouldn't get too worked up about one way or the other at this moment, but Stearns has taken over this club. I don't know what's happened with the GM situation, but apparently the first thing that they wanted to do here, after they told Buck Showalter that he had to leave too. He was fired without being fired. He resigned, fired. They basically fired him. See, David Stearns says, "Want you here? Get the hell out of here, Buck. Thank you for your services. Thank you for 101 wins. Thank you, and you're out." This was against, by the way, the ideas of Mets owner Steve Cohen, but he's given the autonomy to David Stearns to run this ball club the way he sees fit. I would mention that Stearns has had a very successful run in Milwaukee, and that's very important to remember. He's also been in Houston. He was part of the Houston Renaissance down there prior to them being a perennial playoff team and a perennial pennant-winning team. He was down there at the ground floor trying to build that team up, and in the system. And they did a great job there. And obviously, he started here with the Mets as an intern. And he's bounced around a little bit here and there. But keep an eye on this name. I'll mention him. I'm not going to do a video on him. Alex Bregman, who is a free agent next year. Keep an eye on you. A rumor popped up on him. I'm not ready to do a video on him just yet. But he is an interesting player. And the Mets do obviously need a third good hitter in this lineup. You need a good hitter to balance this lineup up. He is right-handed. He is a guy that has quite the pedigree. And the Mets could afford any kind of money they'd have to spend on him. And he's a third baseman. Mets don't have a third baseman. All you Brett Beatty fans understand he can't play third. I made my evaluation on him. But here is a little bit of a note, and a big note on the Mets managerial situation. Craig Counsell. John Morosi put out a tweet earlier on Halloween about Craig Counsell. Let me read you this. There's a couple of tweets, really. I wonder what Craig Counsell's going as for Halloween. Will he go as a Met manager? Will he go as a Guardian manager? Will he go back to the Brewers? Will he dress up like Billy the Brewer? I don't know. Would he be dressing up as Mr. Met? What does a Guardian dress up as? Who knows? Anyway, this is what John Morosi put out. Sources. Craig Counsell has spoken with the Mets and the Guardians about their managerial vacancies and is now evaluating his options, including possibility of staying with the Brewers. Counsell is increasingly likely to manage in 24 as opposed to taking the year off. Now, the rumor is that he wants to break the bank on a salary for a manager. He doesn't seem that type of guy. This is a guy that's been in these small markets his whole life. I don't see him doing that. I also hear that he and his wife like New York, but he's a Midwest guy. He's a guy that has played in small markets. When he played with the Florida Marlins. He played with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He played with the Brewers. I don't know if he's the kind of guy that would like to be here. You know what I'm saying? How would Craig Counsell handle things here? This is a big, and it is a much more difficult job than the Yankees' job, just due to the fact the Mets don't get any benefit of the doubt here. The Yankees get every benefit of the doubt here. He'd be better off. Any manager would be better off going to the Yankees. Be honest with you, just there's less stress. I mean, it's complete total monkey crap that we deal with as Met fans from the media and all them making up stories and stuff, making up negative stories a lot of times. And I don't know how he could handle it here. That's the one thing. That's the one unknown. It'd be almost like bringing a guy that has never managed before. He will have to deal with things here that he hasn't had to deal with in Milwaukee. Also, I would point out, if he can't decide between the Mets, Guardians, and the Brewers, then you don't want him here. Okay? If he looks at these as and they're all good jobs, all these three teams, and the Astros, by the way, those are 4 jobs out there that are good quality jobs, good ownership, good people running the organizations. They're quality jobs. But New York is New York. And if he can't decide between the big market New York and the Guardians, Cleveland, and the Brewers, Milwaukee, then we don't need him here. We don't want him here. Now, John Morosi put out another tweet a little while after that. Sources. While Craig Counsell's contract with the Brewers technically expires today, there's no firm timeline for his decision on where to manage in 2024. Next week's MLB general managers meetings mark the broad opening of off-season business. Personally, I would expect that some kind of news on the manager will happen next week, if Counsell comes. If Counsell does not become the general manager of this club, I would it's very much like the Carlos Correa situation. The longer you don't hear anything about Correa, similar to what this whole thing with Counsell is, the longer we don't hear about it, the chances of him coming here will not happen. My prediction will be, first of all, I think it's now down to 60 to 62% chance now. I'm going to gamble him in. A 60 to 62% chance that the Mets will get him to be the manager. It's gone down, in my view. Now, if we go through this week, I don't expect any news on the manager this week. I'd be very surprised. Okay? Next week is a different situation. With the general managers meetings coming up next week. Well, we got the World Series this week. They're not gonna make an announcement today or tomorrow. If there's an announcement, maybe at the earliest it'll be Thursday. Thursday, Friday, if there's no game 6. Okay? But if we go in through next week, and Counsell hasn't been named the manager of this club next week, do not expect him to be the manager of this team. And the Mets will be looking elsewhere to find a manager. They've not talked to anybody else as far as I know. But if he's not the manager by the end of next week, he's not going to be the manager of this team. It'll be the longer this goes on and he drags this out, and he's not dragging out, I'm just using that word. The longer he drags this out and doesn't want to, can't decide, he's not going to come here, and you don't want him here. You want him to come here with bells on. You want him to want the job. And just read between the lines. He'll take the job, but he's got to break the bank. You don't want to come here, we don't want you here. Simple as that. Want somebody that wants to be here. The one thing about Buck Showalter is that when he came here, he wanted the job. He hit the ground running here. We want a manager who's going to hit the ground running right off the bat. A Counsell's not going to embarrass us. He's not going to be like Mickey Callaway. You know, Mickey, texting these women up in the stands, trying to get dates with all these different women that were working in the press box. No. They're going to have this problem with Counsell's a professional guy. But it's like anything else. It's like courting anybody. It's like trying to get somebody to work for you or trying to get a date. The longer you get the longer you have to wait to get an answer, you're not going to get an answer, and that means the negative answer. So that's why if they don't have his name on the dotted line by the end of next week, he's not going to be the manager of this team. But that's my view of it. That's how I look at life, to be honest with you. But you let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. I'll see you. I'll give you more updates on what's going on with Craig Counsell and this ball club that we all love. And if you're a Met fan, hit that subscribe button. Get this channel the 5,000 subs. I know you can do it. That's a big number. That's the next big number this channel needs to hit. So, thanks for watching. Have a good night and day, and I'll see you later.